Hello and welcome to the Medical Sales Podcast. I'm your host, Samuel, founder of a revolutionary medical sales training and mentorship program called the Medical Sales Career Builder, and I'm also host of the Medical Sales Podcast. In this podcast, I interview top medical sales reps and leading medical sales executives across the entire world. It doesn't matter what medical sales industry, from medical device to pharmaceutical to genetic testing and diagnostic lab, you name it, you will learn how to either break into the industry, be a top 10% performer within your role, or climb the corporate ladder. Welcome to the Medical Sales Podcast. And remember, I am a medical sales expert sharing my own opinion about this amazing industry and how it can change your life. Hello and welcome to the Medical Sales Podcast. I'm your host, Samuel, and today we have with us another special guest, and he goes by the name of Cory Hutchins. And Cory is not just a normal guest. He is a graduate of the Medical Sales Career Builder program, a program we have here at Evolve for Success. So, what makes this fascinating is Cory was a physical therapist who wanted to get into medical sales. Didn't really understand the medical sales landscape, but knew that he wanted something that ultimately might be able to be remote and is somewhat connected to tech, but within medicine because of his background as a PT. When he came to us, he just knew that he wanted to be in medical sales. He was thinking maybe pharma, maybe medical device. He had the dreams of med tech, but he didn't think they could be a reality because he was a physical therapist. And I'm going to stop there. This is one of those episodes that really highlights and showcases what's possible, regardless where you started. For you clinicians out there, medical sales is obvious as a choice to get into if you're ready to no longer be a clinician and see patients. Medical sales is an obvious choice to take all of your gifts, skills, and knowledge and apply it to still have an impact on patient outcomes, but of course, in a much different way. And to do that in the tech sector, from being a clinician, it's not that well known. And this episode serves to kind of bring light to that opportunity for those of you that want to be in this kind of space that are also clinicians. But this is not just an episode for clinicians. This is an episode for anyone that wants to be in the medical sales space and how you can make it happen when you have resources that actually serve you. So I'm going to stop there. I really hope you enjoy this episode. As always, we do our best to bring you guests that are truly doing things differently in the medical sales space. And I really do hope you enjoy this interview. Hey, Cory, how are we doing today?
Hey, Samuel, I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Life is good, no complaints. So, Cory, this is a special episode because Cory here is actually a graduate of the Medical Sales Career Builder. Cory, what field are you currently in now?
So I am in health tech. I work for a company called WebPT. I'm a sales development representative with them. And, this was my purpose and what I wanted to get into. And I'm not looking back, man.
I love it. So talk to us. What is WebPT? What do they do? And what is your role responsible for?
Yeah, so WebPT is the largest EMR company. And for people that don't know what EMR means, it's just medical record company. So when you see a patient, you got to document. We're that software that you're going to document on. And we've been around the longest and we have the most features. And what I do with them is I'm a sales development rep. So you can call it what you want. It's in sales, but the way I approach my job is I'm an educator. I am calling practices, seeing how they're doing, kind of educating them on what my expertise is in, which is technology, especially the AI realm. And we can kind of go into that a little later if you want. That's just from my family background. And just some help finding solutions to some of these practices that are experiencing some challenges and being that point of contact for them.
And you're killing it right now at this new position. What do you love most about this role?
So I love most about being an SDR. I believe this role really matches my skill set, my personality, and everything that encompasses that. I just love talking to people. I love talking to multiple business owners from different states, really building that connection with people. I'm very social, as you know, Samuel. So it's really fun for me to really dive in, teach these practices, some of the newest technology, especially with AI coming out into healthcare in this last year.
Mhm.
Really, it's really gaining traction. So being able to share my experience in that with that technology has been really helpful, because just a lot of practices are unaware where they can take their practice to and what limits are possible.
Absolutely. So, I think with medical sales, people just assume that, all these positions in medical sales, you're out in the field and you're either in something like medical device sales where you're going to procedures and surgeries, or you're doing pharmaceutical sales where you're going from account to account, between 8 to 5 day. But I don't think, we've had a few guests talk about healthcare tech sales, but I don't think enough people understand that it's something that you can get into right out of the gate, just like you did, Corey. Talk to us a little bit about why, what was it about this space when you joined the Medical Sales Career Builder? Why were you so focused on getting this kind of opportunity with healthcare sales? Like, how did you see it?
Yeah, so I chose, when I initially reached out to you, Samuel, I was lost. I was trying to still navigate everything. And then as I got, as time passed by, I got more clarification. And one of those factors that really helped me gear towards tech is just from my family background with my brother. He works for the best AI company, I would say, called Databricks currently. And they're, I would say, number one in that realm. And watching his presentations online, and then also realizing from the presentations, watching people in the healthcare life science divisions of these companies talk about how their product is influencing healthcare, from surgical intervention. I mean, I'm on the EMR side, but AI is going in healthcare in so many spaces. So, and as I mentioned to you, Samuel, day one of my non-negotiables was I really wanted to work remote. And that just goes back to how I operate best. I
Mm.
operate best in my own environment. And so that's kind of what drove me into tech. I was open to hybrid, just because I really wanted that change in experience. And I'm very blessed and grateful that I ended up getting a remote position.
Mhm.
But I would say I've always been tech savvy. I've built my computer. I'm always watching webinars online for the latest advancements in AI and tech. I mess around with ChatGPT a ton,
Mhm.
as some of us do, and it's just a passion of mine. I really love technology, and that kind of stems back to, I got burnt out as a PT. What's going to be the solution to that? It's technology. Technology is going to automate and streamline our profession for the better, and it's exciting. Where
And
it's
that's
headed.
that's a cool thing to know about your background. You were a physical therapist who wanted to get into medical sales and wanted to get into the tech side of medical sales, and here we are. I mean, it's an amazing journey you've been through, Corey. Talk to us a little bit about what's the day in the life of this SDR. How does it work? You wake up at what time? You're doing what to what? Then what? When does it all end? Give us the day in the life of an
Yeah.
SDR.
So, I mean, each day will vary. You have, I would say, Monday to Wednesdays, you're a lot more busy, whereas Thursdays and Fridays, clinics are kind of looking towards the weekend. But in a regular average day, usually I'm waking up around 8 a.m. I'm prospecting, I'm sending out emails, just trying to build connections, maybe through LinkedIn. I'm also setting up my calendar. Which accounts do I want to contact at certain points in the day? Maybe I talked to them a prior week and they're like, hey, Joe Schmo is available at this time next Monday. So I really prioritize the beginning of my day, especially when we're all alert and not as tired. And then towards the middle of the day, I will have my lunch. So I might do cold calling from like 9 to 11:15. Then we have our team huddle where all of us meet up. We kind of strategize, talk about how our progress was the previous day, areas we can improve on, as well as kind of highlight and learn from other colleagues of mine, like what did they have success with, when it comes to products that they're seeing are really converting over. And so then later in the day, around 1, I'll do my second block of cold calling, and I'll probably end around, I mean, it varies. Some days I end around 5 p.m. Some days it's 3 p.m. Sometimes it's emails, text messaging. It's really just communicating with people,
So,
man, and just being there for people.
So that's fantastic, Cory. You know, this is I I I get excited when I knew we were gonna do this episode today, because you really went in open when you went into the Medical Sales Career Builder program. Like you said, you were burnt out as a physical therapist. You knew you had all this to offer, and you wanted to find where it made sense. And you also knew you had this passion to be doing things alongside what you have background with your family as far as tech, and to be in a position or an opportunity to be remote and pretty much work from wherever you want to. And it's amazing that you were able to find it, create it, and now you're living it uh, today. So take us back, though. Take us back to before this job, before the Medical Sales Career Builder. You know, I want everyone to hear where you were, so they can identify that if they're in the same place, there's a solution out there for you. What was going on? You know, were you just hating the PT life, and you were like, man, when is it gonna? Give us a little bit about everything that was happening before you actually joined the program.
Yeah. So, I've always enjoyed physical therapy for the knowledge I learned in school. Unfortunately, when you get out to the field, the priorities are a little different, right? And it's because these business owners need to make money. Medicare keeps declining reimbursements, but with that comes increased production. So, they teach you in school one-on-one treatment. Unfortunately, in the real world, it's really hard to manage a clinic while doing that. So, starting off fresh, I loved what I did. And then I was starting to see 2 to 3 patients an hour. And I understand from the business standpoint why that was now that I'm in the tech side. However, it really led to burnout. So I was like, okay, I need to change. So why not travel therapy? So I tried travel therapy, went out to Colorado for 6 months and did 2 contracts. Really enjoyed the clinics I worked at. And I thought, hey, living in a new location, it's going to change. Maybe that's what I needed, because where I live currently is kind of boring. So I was like, more excitement, bigger city. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, the same things came up, man, as, I was spending hours at night documenting on the patients from the previous day, trying to catch up on returning calls. So yeah, I work the normal 8 to 5, but I also was spending 2 to 3 hours at times documenting. And all of this, again, it just took away from me what I would say living. Like, it took away from my personal life, what makes Cory, like
Mhm.
being able to do the hobbies I enjoy. And when I noticed that, I was like, I need to change. So I went back to Miami. I did home health, part B and part A, which honestly, out of all the areas I went into, I loved it the most. And I would say that is because of the population you're working with. You're working with geriatrics, but with these people come stories and wisdom. And they kind of taught me, like, Cory, take control of your life. If you're not
Wow.
happy, make a change.
Yeah.
So I really learned from them. And then that's when at this point, was at my lowest of lows. I was depressed, didn't know what to do. So I took this step into just applying with my physical therapy resume, was getting nowhere. Did that for about 3 months. Then realized I needed to change. And honestly, I remember you reaching out to me in April, reaching out to me. And that first call I had is talking to April was, at one point in time, I was in your shoes and now I'm on the other side, Cory. It's possible, you can do it. So I will never forget that. And that will always mean a lot to me because it changed my life. And deciding to make that change and joining your program was one of the best decisions I ever made, when it comes to propelling me in the right trajectory in the area, in the field that I want to work in and that I am working in now. So that's where I was. I was getting nowhere, and then learning from you and your program meant a ton. And I can't thank you all enough.
You know, we feel honored and be able to be on the journey with you. So that's a beautiful thing. Thank you for that, Cory.
Of
You know, with
course.
that being said, let's talk a little bit about the program itself. You know, in our program, you know, we focus on support. We focus on making sure you have the best training you can find and being able to get a position in this space. And we focus on making sure you have the best education so you can make the right decisions on where you should actually be. And then we walk you through the entire process. But there's so many different parts of the program, and everybody that goes through it gets something specific to them that really resonated. When it comes to you, out of all the things that you experienced, what is maybe one or two things that you could say really stood out for Cory, that really was a game changer for your success?
For sure. And one of those is being open-minded. Coming as a PT into the program, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to apply to these sales positions to just talk about my PT experience. Well, you quickly realize in sales, they don't really care too much about your PT experience. It's really shifting the focus from PT to sales. And what does a hiring manager look for in sales? What are the skill sets? Like, you taught me the STAR format for interviewing. You taught me to quantify a lot of my resume, where it was a lot of it was more qualitative, more describing what I'm doing rather than here's what I produced for this clinic, here's how I converted these amount of patients, here's the compliance rate. You really taught me how to shift the focus from PT to sales. And you know not really ever utilizing LinkedIn, you also taught me how to navigate LinkedIn. And I am very big on applying whatever blueprint is in front of me. And from your knowledge and stuff, I've learned as well through my independent studying, it really together combined, it really helped me propel on LinkedIn. I truly believe LinkedIn is the now, and it's going to be how you're going to get jobs with these great companies.
No other way to say it. You couldn't be more correct. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's really, those are like the two things that stood out. And then the coaching from Jules, as well. And Anthony, with the interviews, they helped me a ton. And just, it's easy to really critique yourself, but it's better when someone can critique you and you're like, wow, I didn't really realize I came across that way. Or, my response can come across like I thought it came across good, but it's
Right.
actually, you know what I mean? So you all really helped me in being open-minded. I would just, I can't recommend that enough to people that want the pivot. You got to put the ego down and you got to be open-minded. Yes, you've been a PT or whatever profession for X amount of years, and that's great, but you've never been with a true sales title. You
Right.
might have done sales components.
Right.
You've never been in a sales position where it says sales development rep or inside sales rep or
Yeah.
enterprise rep. Like, you can't say that, and you got to humble yourself and realize it's a whole new field and skill set. And that is something I have learned in these past 4 months and
Yeah.
have really put my head down. And
Yeah.
so it's been a blessing, man. I can't thank all the mentors that I've had, and you as well, Samuel.
I hope you're enjoying today's episode. And I want to let you know our programs cover the entire career of a medical sales professional. From getting into the medical sales industry, to training on how to be a top performer in the medical sales industry, to masterfully navigating your career to executive level leadership. These programs are personalized and customized for your specific career and background, and trained by over 50 experts, including surgeons. Our results speak for ourselves, and we're landing positions for our candidates in less than 120 days in top medical technology companies like Stryker, Medtronic, Merck, Abbott, you name it. Would you run an Ironman race without training and a strategy? You wouldn't. So why are you trying to do the same with a medical sales position? You need training, you need a strategy, and you need to visit evolveyoursuccess.com, fill out the application, schedule some time with one of our account executives, and let's get you into the position that you've always dreamed of. Oh, absolutely. The team here, we're so focused on doing everything we can to help you see how things can be. And as you said, Cory, you went through a whole paradigm shift. And as soon as you made that shift, I mean, here you are. So this is fantastic. All right. So talk to us a little bit about, what's next for Cory. You got the dream job. We got to be on that journey with you. Next 10 years, where do you see yourself?
Ah, man, that's a loaded question. I see myself, for one, being a pioneer in my space, like with the AI space, having, the connection of my brother, really diving into all the research and the YouTube webinars from Databricks to Snowflake to other companies as well. And just staying on top of that, in prediction health, one of the companies WebPT partnered with, I just see myself being a pioneer in that space because I'm very passionate about it and it affected me directly. And I see how this technology is really going to influence it practices in the future. And I just want to help people. I mean, I don't know where I'll be in 10 years, but, I want to be a leader. And that's how I navigate my life daily, as if I'm in that role already.
Mhm.
Just because, you want to practice what you want to become. So I'm very big on that. And, I want to help as many clinicians as well, like go into technology, since a lot of clinicians, like you had mentioned, are kind of unaware that they could go in technology with a degree. And it wasn't until I reached out to some people on LinkedIn. I knew a guy that worked for Databricks, for Datadogs. And you know what's funny, Samuel, is a lot of these managers that through your networking on LinkedIn, they would tell me, we actually have a physical therapist that works for us and they're one of our top producers. Like, we love healthcare workers. And it's because they're very social. They have that empathy. And I think you can't be closed-minded to healthcare workers because you got to look at the transferable skills that they have to offer. Sales is teachable.
Mhm.
Transferable skills, to me, you can fine tune them, but it's hard to teach a personality, right? Like you got to. So that's yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's a little bit of a challenge to teach empathy. So it always goes a long way when that's one of your ingrained skills. Well, Cory, this is fantastic. We love spending time with you today. Again, we are so proud of you. You're a medical sales career builder graduate, and you are currently living your best life, 4 months into your new position. Okay, Cory, are you ready for the lightning round?
I am. Let's bring it on,
All right,
Samuel.
let's bring it on. So, first question. What is the best book you have read in the last 6 months?
I would say The New Model of Selling by Jeffrey Lee Miner.
Ooh, well, the new model. And that one I have not heard. I will have to look at that. Okay, the new model of selling by Jeffrey Miner. Okay, what is the best TV show or movie you've seen in the last 6 months?
I would say Dune.
Really, was it good?
Yeah, it was good. It was exciting. Dune
Wow,
2.
I saw the '80s one, but I didn't see the new one.
Yeah, the new one is
One.
exhilarating.
Oh, wow. Okay, the best restaurant, actually, best meal you've had. We want the item and restaurant you've had in the last 6 months.
Um, I would say, oh, man, I would say Don Julio. And that was a steakhouse, the best steak I've ever had, and that was a last year, so a few months ago.
I mean, you can't not tell us that and not tell us the
Yeah.
steak. What was the steak?
So it was a skirt steak, and
Steak. Okay.
yeah, I don't know what the Spanish text. It's when I was in Argentina last year, so
Okay.
it's the number one steakhouse in the world if you look it up.
Whoa. So Don Julio's skirt steak in where exactly?
In Buenos Aires, Argentina.
So that will be in the show notes, everyone. That will be in the show notes. And then last but not least, what is the best experience you've had in the last 6 months?
Man, it's really been able to control my life and been able to travel back to Miami to see my friends, getting more control of my life, and that was through your course, Samuel. Being able to work from anywhere I want and have my own space, and it's really excelled me to be my best version of myself and be super productive. So that's been the best experience for work. Um, I mean, I'm a beach person, so I would just say relaxing by the beach. Honestly, jet skiing in front of Miami, for my 30th birthday was probably the best experience in the last 3 months.
Hey, hey, okay. We'll take them all. Cory, this has been fantastic. Keep killing it out there. And just, really, you're setting the example because you're a PT that got into med tech and is living his best life. And I know that there are PTs listening right now that are thinking, oh my goodness, I had no idea this could even be a prospect for the future. So thank you again, Cory.
You're welcome, Samuel. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And that was Cory Hutchins. Fantastic. The beautiful thing about the journey with Cory is he really didn't know where he wanted to be at first. He was open to it all, and he wanted something that would give him the lifestyle he's been looking for, the remote work, the being able to work from home, and and really control your day. But he didn't know that it would be this. And he wasn't even sure that he could actually have that. He just knew that he was a clinician that wanted to still be in medicine, and he knew medical sales was an opportunity. It was in the program that he actually learned about this space. It was in the program that he learned that this could be a great fit for him. And through all the mentors and coaches he worked with, finally get on this path, go after it, and here we are. And 4 months in, as you just heard, he's living his best life. This can be you. This can be you. If you're a clinician, this can be you. If you're not a clinician, this can be you. Here's what's happening here. At Evolve Your Success within the Medical Sales Career Builder program, we're able to take anyone that has a college degree, has a clean driving record, and has no criminal record, and help them find opportunities within medical sales that fit the kind of lifestyle they want to have, the person they want to be, the impact they want to make, get them into a position and have them on their way to living their best life. That's what we do here at the Medical Sales Career Builder. And if you've been listening for any amount of time, then I'm here to say it again. This can be you. So as always, make sure you tune in next week for another episode of the Medical Sales Podcast. And make sure you visit evolveyoursuccess.com, fill out an application, and get online on the phone with one of our account executives, and let's get you to where you're supposed to be. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And remember, I have a customized and personalized program that gets you into the medical technology industry as a sales professional, or any type of role for that matter. Become a top performer in your position and masterfully navigate your career to executive level leadership. Check out these programs and learn more at evolveyoursuccess.com by visiting our site, filling out an application, schedule some time with one of our account executives, and allowing us to get you where you need to be. Stay tuned for more awesome content with amazing interviews on the Medical Sales Podcast.